Welcome to Book Buddies. So, a couple weeks ago, Izzy and I did an episode where I had to guess the book boyfriend based on the review. And we were having a little bit of discussion afterwards, and I talked about how some of those guys only really work as love interests because of who the female lead is. For example, Cardan in The Cruel Prince works as a love interest because the main character, Jude, is a little bit more morally gray and she's willing to do some more questionable actions in order to get what she wants. However, Cardan would not work as well if his love interest were someone more like a traditional princess, who's kind, sweet, and thoughtful. So, this leads to a fun little game called Ship It or Rip It. I discovered this game from my Caitlin McKillop, who was originally Kate Loves Disney. So, I have all the men that were featured in that episode in this cup, and then all of their love interests in a different cup. So how the game works is I pick a name out of each cup, and then I have to decide if I ship it or rip it. So with all that away, let's get started. So first girl, right? Alira from Thorn and her potential suitor, Henry Tilney from Northanger Abbey. Okay. Lyra, she is a very kind girl. At the start of that book, she's been through a lot. Her dad is dead, and her mother and her brother are terrible to her. And then Henry, he's probably the most carefree Jane Austen hero. He and Catherine have a lot of fun banter in that story. So, see. I feel like Henry's a little bit too, goofy and carefree for Alira, so for this one, it's not the worst ship I feel like that's gonna be in this video, but I'm gonna have to rip it. Alright. Next up, Alina from Shadow and Bone, and Jameson Hawthorne from the Inheritance games. Well, he's already a step up from Mal, so... Alright. Lena, the chosen one, kind of like Avery. Let's see. And actually, I feel like Jameson, he's kind of like a less awesome version of Nikolai, who I kind of ship her with. So, you know what? I'm gonna ship this one. It's much better than her endgame anyway, so let's do it. All right. Next up. All right. And I wrote these on sticky notes, so some of them are a little sticky and hard to get apart. All right. Christine from Phantom of the Opera, classic ingenue character. Oh, and Mal from Shadow and Bone. Rip it. Terrible. Probably the easiest one in the game. Marianne from Sense and Sensibility, and Kestrin from Thorn. Okay. So Kestrin, he's Alira's love interest from Thorn. He does have a protector side to him. Let's see. And I feel like Marianne, what kind of draws her to Colonel Brandon is he's ultimately a good guy who will protect her. And, I feel like I ship this, actually. I like it. Alright. Avery from the Inheritance games. And Reinhardt from The Beautiful Pretender. I think with this one, Reinhardt is clearly an adult, and Avery is very clearly a teenager, so because of that, I don't think this would work out, and I'm gonna rip this one. Alright. Jude from The Cruel Prince. And, oh, going back to the medieval fairy tale trilogy, you have Stefan from The Noble Servant. Okay. Jude is a little bit more of a, she's probably the most morally gray female protagonist that I have in the game. While Stefan, he does have a dark side. However, I feel like he is more of a good guy. So, not the worst ship in this video, but I think, I don't really see this connection, so I'm gonna rip this as well. Well, luckily, like, a couple of these ships so far, I like, and I'm hoping it's more at the end. Okay. Oh, Magdalene from The Noble Servant. And Mr. Darcy. This is interesting because I feel like Darcy is a little bit more similar to Reinhardt from The Beautiful Pretender. And in terms of how similar he is to Stefan, I think he would still have the appeal of the love interest. And Magdalene, she does have a backbone. She is willing to, like, speak up. But I feel like Magdalene seems pretty young. Like, I feel like she's a bit more similar to Georgiana than she is to Lizzie, especially in terms of maturity. So I feel like because of that, she's too much like his little sister. I'm gonna rip this as well. All right. Elizabeth from Sorcery of Thorns. All right. And Raoul from Phantom of the Opera. He's very different from Nathaniel. Let's see. I feel like Raoul does have a protective side and similar to Nathaniel. However, I feel like this might be kind of similar with Magdalene and Darcy, where she's just, I feel like she's too young for him. I don't really see Elizabeth getting to him. All right. Okay. There are some fun characters in here that I feel like are gonna be fun to play with, though. Okay. Oh, Lizzie from Pride and Prejudice. Oh, Captain Wentworth from Persuasion. So another Jane Austen book. I think he definitely still keeps the appeal. Lizzie is a bit younger than Anne. I think Lizzie's meant to be like 20 and then Anne's meant to be 27, so she is a bit more like Charlotte in that story. You know what? I think I'm gonna ship this actually. This would work. Alright. Okay. I think we're about halfway done. Okay. So, who's next? Evelina from The Beautiful Pretender. Another sweet, sort of Disney princess type character. Oh, and Peeta from The Hunger Games. He's very different from Reinhardt. He's a little bit more boyish. But I think this would work. Yeah, it's not as complex compared to her and Reinhardt or Tim and Katniss, but I like this. I ship it. Alright, who's next? Okay, Fanny from Mansfield Park. A more shy, quiet protagonist. And Carden from Girl Prince! No, I'm gonna have to rip that. She is exactly the type of character who would not work with him. She would be appalled by him. Might be the most appalling ship, which I like. Okay. Alosa from Daughter of the Pirate King. Now she, I feel like, would work quite well with Carden. Oh, and Raiden! Her love interest. Perfect! I ship it! Okay. I was wondering when that was gonna happen. Right. Catherine from Northanger Abbey, and Nathaniel from Sorcery of Thorns. I actually really like this. He is sort of like Henry, I mean, actually, throughout a lot of the beginning of the book, he is kind of teasing Elizabeth throughout. He calls her a menace and even makes a joke, like, after she bites him. So, I love this, actually. I feel like this would be such a fun couple. I ship this. This is awesome. Right. Okay, just a few left. Right. Emma, the title character of the Jane Austen novel, and Edmund from Mansfield Park. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to rip this one. I feel like Edmund's really forgettable, and I think Emma's a bit more lively than him, so this isn't the most appalling ship in this video, but I don't really see it. Although, E&D, that would be fun, actually. Okay, you left. Anne from Persuasion. And Colonel Brandon from Sense and Sensibility. I really like this one, actually. It is a more quiet, it would be a more quiet ship compared to some of the others, which are a little bit more crazy and unusual. But I like this, actually. And I feel like this would be a really nice slow burn. All right, last ship. Katniss from The Hunger Games and Mr. Knightley from Emma. I feel like this is one where the age gap's a little bit too big for me. Although I feel like actually in terms of all of the Jane Austen heroes, I feel like Mr. Knightley might be the most similar to Peeta. I feel like this is one where it's like, if Katniss were mature enough, I would ship it, but I feel like Katniss has gone through so much, especially at such a young age, where I can't really see this working. So, also, I feel like it'd be weird pairing her up with someone rich for some reason. Alright, so, this was a lot of fun. Let me look at all of these fun ships again. Alright, so, the most hilariously appalling ship would probably have to be Fanny and Cardan, because Fanny was one of the characters where I was like, yeah, Cardan would not work if that was the main character of the story, because Cardan is, his book's literally titled The Cruel Prince, and he's not the type of person you would want with somebody who is like Fanny, who is quiet and very kind-hearted. And then in terms of my favorite ship in this episode, of course we do have the canon ship of Alosa and Raiden, which was really fun. I was wondering if and how many canon couples I drew, and they ended up being the one, which I loved. Alright, so I would say my three favorite non-canon pairings that came from this episode were Anne and Colonel Brandon, Alina and Jameson, and Catherine and Nathaniel. These couples aren't entirely identical to the canon ones that any of these were in, but I feel like there's enough potential and a lot of fun that can come from these. So, if you enjoyed this, please share it with your friends and let me know, do you want me to play more solo, non-scripted games like this? And if so, what are your suggestions? I'm Louisa Hammond, and I'll see you next time.